How did you get interested in playing music and being in a band? Being in bands?
Well, I got into Kiss when I was like 7, and they were still doing the makeup, and the whole Destroyer album was the latest album, so like superheroes come to life and all that. So it definitely made me want to be in a band. But I didn't think I pursued it seriously till I was in high school and got into punk and realized that, hey, you don't have to be a virtuoso or amazing to get started in it and have people like you, and then you get enthusiastic, and then you become a better player as you get to learn on the fly instead of sitting in your bedroom and learning all your scales and becoming the virtuoso and the master that has no band or doesn't do anything but be the master in their bedroom. I've known quite a few guys like that, and that wasn't quite my taste. I'm a bit of a ham. I like the performance stuff.
Hell yeah. How'd you get turned on to underground music?
Okay. I've always kind of been an outsider. Growing up, I was my closest sibling is 5 years, so we didn't hang out. In my neighborhood, there weren't any other kids on my block anywhere near there, so I was just kind of by myself. I was always shorter than everybody else, and so I just plain old didn't never fit in the first place. So when I heard the Dead Kennedys and discovered the whole punk thing, I went, oh, here's something that I can relate to. It's like we're just not the norm, and I always kind of felt that way. So I felt right at home, and got to embrace the let the freak flag fly kind of thing, only with a little more testosterone than say the hippie movement version of that.
Hell yeah. What's the coolest thing about being in a band?
Playing songs with my friends. I know people that been to make a living doing this, and it's a job. I got a job, so if I have a crappy day at work, I can still sit in my cubicle and do my computer shit and get paid for it. I come here, I want to have fun. If I do this every single day, if I'm sick and don't want to do it, I still have to do it. It's a job. It's not as much fun. So it's playing songs with my friends and I'm enjoying it.
Don't believe him in anything this man says. He's a total liar.
What's the worst thing about being in a band?
Wrangling the cats, as I call it. Basically, trying to organize everybody to like what Brandon does with this kind of thing. Like you got 7, 8 bands playing, and you got to worry about who's playing first, who's sharing gear, and all that. It's a lot of work to pull it off well, but there's a lot of reward in it at the end. But it's very frustrating dealing with club owners, sound guys, other bands, people in your own band, because not everything works the way you want it to or expect it to every time. And you kind of have to deal with it, but overall, I still think the end result is worth it, or I wouldn't still be doing it.
Hell yeah. What's the most memorable show you've ever played?
Oh, wow. If I had to just pick one, it would probably be opening for the Misfits at Janus Landing. It's very intoxicating getting several hundred people to actually pay attention to what you're doing, and you can get them doing things like, well, hey, do you guys want to hear Devo or Dead Kennedys, or you want to hear Johnny Cash or the Ramones? And so it's just really cool watching several hundred people react to what you're doing and respond well. Very intoxicating. I can see where you can get a big head really quickly. The big stage like that and everything.
Yeah.
Hard to keep it humble sometimes with that, but that was probably the most memorable. That was a big dick stroke.
Nice. Fuck yeah. What are your goals when you're in a band?
Have fun. A friend of mine, Victor Ulmer, taught me this a long time ago. I used to play in Grassy Knoll Gunmen, and when I was in Mega Smegma, we played together a lot in Clearwater. And he goes, look, I'm going to be 28 years old soon, and if this band doesn't take off, I think I'm just going to take up a trade. And the band kind of dissolved after their 5 years, never went more than the big fish in the little pond, as far as I know. And then I run into him later, I played in a little band with him, and there was some turmoil in the band, and he told me, like, look, if I don't do anything more than play music with you guys in this warehouse, that's all I need. I'm happy doing that. And so that was the lesson I pulled from that. And I try to keep that in mind. Again, sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, but every now and then someone needs to tell me, lighten up, Francis, and have
Lighten
fun.
up, Francis!
Exactly. Loosen up. It's only rock and roll.
Do you make money or lose money playing in a band?
Lose money, definitely.
I already know what.
But that's okay. Like I said, I got a job. I can afford to be in a band and have my beer habits.
Outside of playing in a band, how do you make a living?
I'm a computer dork. I'm kind of a support technician, database analysis for a hospice. So I've been there about 12 years, so I get to work in a cubicle and wear a nice button-up shirt and all that good shit. But I get to do this and it balances out. The job helps me afford this.
Oh yeah. What's up, girly?
I love it.
What's the biggest crowd you've ever played for?
That'd be the Misfit show at Janus Landing.
Yeah.
How many people would you say?
I don't know what that holds, but there are at least several. I
Least.
think at least 800 or so, but I'm guessing it was probably 5, 6.
Nice.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'd say it's a good half to 3/4 full and paying attention to what we were doing.
I think it
Nice.
means mosh pit was
What's the smallest crowd you've ever played for?
I wasn't even thinking on it.
Staff and stools. Like, we played here Thanksgiving evening and went on at like 2:45. There was nobody here. So yeah, minimal, none, nobody, but consider it like a practice. Just do your thing.
Oh yeah. We've all played those shows.
Yes, we have.
Have you ever been on tour? If so, where? If not, do you ever see yourself as touring?
Officially, no, nothing that I would call a tour. We've done like a couple shows out on the road. We went to Bluefield, West Virginia, where Blitz Kid's from, to play a big Halloween event in their neighborhood.
Nice.
Well, they went to New York City to play, so we
yeah.
got to be the headliners, and we stopped in Atlanta and played one show there. So a couple shows, but nothing more than that. Jimmy will call it a tour, but I wouldn't. It's a road trip. I'd like to, but at the same time, I know it's not very feasible. You need to be able to account for the amount of money you're not going to make and still going to need to spend. Gas prices are a lot lower now than they were a few years ago, but that's something to consider. And just with the guys I know, like Jimmy's got a kid, so he really couldn't be gone for a couple weeks or a month. Johnny and we're all old people. I'm the only guy in the band under 50, so sleeping on floors and in the van just isn't all that feasible anymore. And unless I can do the cushy, hotel sort of thing, I really don't see it happening. I would like to, just because I refuse to admit I'm growing up and getting old. But realistically, no, I'm probably not going to do more than maybe some occasional shows out of town. But
Right.
no, I don't see any tours happening, unfortunately.
When you did go out of town, did you rent a van, or did somebody own a van, or how did you make that
We
happen?
actually carpooled with multiple vehicles. The least economical version of it, but yeah, nobody ever had a van, at least in Boney Fiend. Back in Mega Smegma days, Gardy Lou would commission us to drive down to like Fort Lauderdale to play with Raped Ape and those guys.
Right.
So we got to play the out-of-town shows, and Ben got a free ride.
Nice.
So, but no van. Considered it, but for how little we really go out on the road, it's just not that feasible.
Did you take your own equipment, or did you
Yeah.
backline? You took your own equipment?
Take my own stuff, because you never know what you're going to encounter. I'm very of the mindset of bring everything you need and extra stuff, because you never know what you're going to run into. You need mic cables, microphones.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All that stuff.
For sure.
So I really hate relying on other people unless I really know them and trust them, and I don't want to get burned showing up and go, hey, here's my guitar.
Right.
Imagine the Vibrators, where they tour on tourist visas and they can't bring gear.
Right.
So I imagine they get burned every now and then with crap gear or no gear.
Right.
I couldn't do that.
If you had to give a new band advice on what you've learned playing in bands, what would you say to them?
Make sure you're enjoying yourself. As much as I hate to smash dreams, the one in a gazillion shot that your band's going to make it is few and far between. There's a lot of lucky breaks. A lot of bands work real hard to get there. Like Motley Crue did, Guns N' Roses. Some of the punk bands did the same thing. Other ones just lucky they landed in the right spot. Count on it to not happen. Count on having something to fall back on. So my advice is do your best at it, but keep in mind it's just something for fun.
Oh yeah. Is your family supportive of your musical career?
Yes. My mom was a bit of a rebel, I guess, as a kid or as a youngster, and apparently she really liked drummers. My dad wasn't a drummer, but they seemed to have no problems with me doing stuff. they wouldn't like drive me to gigs and everything.
Right.
I remember like Adrian's mom dropped at 14, dropping him off to play with Mega Smegma when he was doing Bassmatist, and she was always really cool. But my folks didn't come out to see any of that stuff until much later. Now that my dad's in his 70s, he'll come and see Boney Fiend.
Nice, hell yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Does your job know you play in a band, and are they supportive?
Yeah, they're okay with it. Being in an IT position, you tend to be on the clock 24/7 to a certain degree. So I've got a partner that I work with that we wind up having to trade this on-call phone. And when I've got a gig, usually I can get him to take the phone for the weekend, even if it's my week to have it. So I got another guy I work with, and he's pretty cool about it.
Nice.
Most of my work is during the day, so gigs don't get in the way that often.
Awesome, hell yeah. How is your local music scene? Do you feel bands support each other, or do you feel that there's a competitive nature?
It's a little bit of both, I think. With Brandon and TBHC, there's a lot of support there, but also I think there's a little friendly competition.
Yeah.
In that everyone wants to do their best, and see when some band you're playing with is doing a great job, then you tend to step it up a little bit. So yeah, there's a bit of both in there. I think some bands are a little friendlier, some bands are more competitive, and some bands just generally don't like each other, but I still see everyone being generally civil. I mean, even if you don't like certain people, there's always an acknowledgement of, hey, how's it going, good show. I haven't seen any real animosity, not within the bands.
Right. Yep.